Yeah, nigga, break them. Bitch, shut the fuck up before we blast your ass too. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, homie, you need some help? Punk ass nigga, come on, niggas!
Man, I need my Moscow bottles. Man, we moving top shits like Silverleaf and shit. Man, we full of that AI over here, man. Kinda late.
Voila! It's your brother, John Mack, aka Mindbender, back in the building. You know, the #1 shark in the deep blue dark. All in that ass like a thong on a fat bitch. Think y'all know my slogan by now, but if you don't know me by now, get to know me. So let's get into it. You know, the other day I was YouTube surfing through different channels and watching hip-hop commentary like we all do. Came upon a VLAD TV episode. Now, we all know the precursor. VLAD is an alleged FBI agent, CIA agent, police officer, snitch type of nigga that when you go on this platform, your ass end up in jail. But I beg to differ. It seems more the other way around. It seems that a lot of groupies can't wait to get on Vlad's platform and spill their beans and end up with a Buck Rogers date. Shame on them. However, he had an interesting guest on the other day. One of the Hughes brothers, and I think he's had both Albert and Alan Hughes on his platform. But this commentary was interesting because Vlad tends to lean more towards questioning them about their beef with Tupac. And it seems like their career slightly is defined by that, other than the great cinematography that they put in over the last couple of decades. Films like American Pimp, films like Dead Presidents, so forth and so on, Menace to Society. I mean, excellent films, done with class, great cameras, and outstanding tenacity. But, you know, considering there is some audio out there with Monster Cody and Tupac talking, Tupac calls them cowards.
Brothers, and you, I don't know if this is true, but this was also written in the article, that you heard on MTV News that you lost that part. And that whole story, was that all true?
It's all true. Only thing that's not true is that my friends beat them up. Only thing that wasn't true is that I got some boys to beat them up. The true part is that, true to the matter, me and them had a problem, and he got his ass kicked. You know, I didn't jump on him or anything. It was both brothers standing there. It just so happened that one of his brothers was a coward and he ran. I can't help it if I was fighting two guys and one ran. Just because that was his brother, he should be trying to put in jail for running. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting two guys, he runs. So I'm not stopping because your brother's a coward. But I felt like they disrespected me in the biggest way, because everybody's out there talking about black people unite and get together, and how could you do that to me? How could you? All I was doing was talking, was saying I didn't understand this role, and just because you felt, he just straight told me in words that I embarrassed him in front of his cast, and I've taken away the respect of a cast and a director. And I was like, you guys don't even know what you're doing. You're playing a big game in Hollywood. You're reading people's notes and you don't even know what you're doing. And I'm not going to let that happen. I said, we can be Hollywood brothers or we can be real brothers. And if you want to take this the Hollywood way, it's cool. All right, you got me. I can't do your movie. But if you want to take this the brother way, I can see you on the streets. And if you're making movies about brothers from the streets, you reap what you sow. They want to talk about menace to society. I'm a menace to them. For every day I'm still in this business, and then they try to blackball me. They just speak about being so black. That's such an Aryan thing to do, you know what I'm saying? To try to blackball me. I mean, look at that, to go to other, that just seems so, disgusting. So it makes me antagonistic. especially since I was over. After we fought, I was like, fine, it's done. You know, they fired me. I feel like I've redeemed myself. We all even. But then they started pressing charges and talking all that madness that I'm hearing. So to me, it's like, they can sue me 1,000,000 times. They could put me in jail 1,000,000 times, but they will never crush me. They can never defeat my spirit. And if it takes 1,000,000 ass beatings, I will give them boys 1,000,000 ass beatings. But they will respect me, and they won't be parading and doing this artificial shit that they do on TV. Excuse my language. But I just can't stand it. I can't stand for somebody to try to represent the young black male and be artificial and be against him in real life, you know?
And then I think one of them said, oh, you know, that's it for him in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then John Singleton said, well, it's not as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, how dare you say that's it for you and Hollywood? Even in my most angriest moments, I didn't wish for them to never make another movie. You know, I mean, to me, they're comrades in the business. I feel like I went to see the movie like 8 times, and they fired me from their movie. But I wanted to support them, you know, it wasn't that deep to me, you know, but to Luke Cowards, it's that deep. So to me, I'm going to make it that deep. So this will be my lifelong ambition in this business, to make sure that they fully understand me. No matter how many times we have to talk, we're going to keep talking until they understand me, because I'm not going anywhere. Whether Hollywood doesn't give me another movie or not, I'm not going to go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, they're going to have to see me at another day. And they can sue me and have bodyguards, whatever, but they got to see me. And so they should come real. Now we can, because I would love it to just discuss this matter with them. But the more they try to like be something they're not, the angrier I get, you know, and that's what's really happening.
Something about Vlad. Giving him an interview added some extra prestige. So let's peep out this commentary between Tupac and a little piece of the interview from Vlad TV and the Hughes brothers, and then we'll commence.
Yeah, I also heard what you did to the Hughes brothers.
Yeah.
I read that article, that interview Dream did with you.
Yeah. Hughes brothers cowards too.
Yeah.
Hughes brothers cowards too.
Doesn't matter. We had a little beef that lasted a couple minutes. That doesn't matter. Like that's nothing compared to like somebody, you know, that happening.
With that happening, what, younger Hughes brother? What are you implying? I mean, at the end of the day, we understand that you're tired of answering Vlad's questioning about y'all and Tupac's beef, but no need for the sarcasm. However, I digress. I'd probably be sarcastic with that Fed too. So let's get into the commentary. You know, Tupac is speaking to Monster Cody on the phone about youth football programs, and Monster Cody interjects in there with, you know, he heard about the problems that were going on with Tupac and the Hughes brothers, and Tupac responded by saying, yeah, the Hughes brothers is cowards though. Strong statement. And with Vlad asking the Hughes brothers repeatedly about their beef with Tupac Shakur, it would seem that their beef with Tupac Shakur was bigger than their illustrious film career, which boasts several high-staking films and box office breaking films. Tupac was alleged early in his career to star in Menace to Society, and I think the Hughes brothers wanted him to play Sharif. Now this is interesting because the Tupac era and Hughes brothers era starts almost simultaneously with some of Tupac's earliest and first videos like Trapped, Home, and When My Homies Call, so forth and so on. So Tupac and the Hughes brothers had built a rapport early on in his career, one that was actually very important, you know, both being upstarts in the business, but later on, because the Hughes brothers would become mega film producers, and Tupac was an actor. Now, Tupac had refused the role of Sharif, even though he was on set, because he did not want to play a self-righteous role after just playing the role in Juice, which I understand. Well, allegedly, Tupac and the Hughes brothers got into it over that subject matter, and Tupac and a couple of his homies went to their trailer on set and roughed them up a little bit, allegedly, so the story goes. And I'm sure there's more nuances to it, but what's willing to be said and not said, we're not absolutely sure. Now, years later, the Hughes brothers have produced a documentary on Tupac that I have not personally seen yet, but I've heard that it is outstanding, well put together. And that's due to their history with Tupac Shakur in their early upstart, including, I'm sure and I imagine, addressing, the beef that they had in the early 90s. But due to an untimely death by Tupac Shakur, the Hughes brothers and Tupac would never, ever get the chance to mend their ill wills of the past. Maybe even possibly to work together later on if, Tupac Shakur would have lived. But VLAD TV does a number on these brothers, literally, by continuously hammering them over the head over the beef with Tupac Shakur and Tupac Shakur style issues that they weren't even around to know or address or see. I found it interesting that they said Jimmy Iovine brought them into the lab so that they could hit him up, and they told Jimmy Iovine, do not release that. That's going to bring forth a bunch of problems. Jimmy Iovine, being the cash cow that he was, didn't really give a fuck about this, talking about release the single anyway. Hell, they even ended up doing a video to it, so shows you how far their influence went with Jimmy Iovine. However, once again, I find it interesting that Vlad delves into this conversation of beef when being so evasive about why Rick Ross and his goons beat the living turkey stuffings out of that man, Although he was successful in his $4 million lawsuit against Rick Ross made jokes about it and said, after I seen his face, he should have sued for 20. I thought that was hilarious too. It's even more hilarious that I'm calling him Rick Ross, because Rick Ross' name isn't even Rick Ross. And if I'm correct, the real Rick Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross out of Los Angeles, tried to sue Rick Ross for his namesake and for plagiarism and lost that case. Vlad won the case for getting punched in the face. Freeway Ricky Ross lost the case due to the fake Rick Ross's plagiarism of his name and his legacy. Now, how do I feel about Rick Ross personally? Rick Ross, early in his career, made some jams that we all love. Hell, the Teflon Don album, might even be a classic. So I think, we're all willing to say, Freeway Ricky, you never really brought nothing to the community but destruction. Let the young man use your fucking name. I mean, it's keeping your legacy alive. That's for damn sure. I mean, I wonder how much legacy you would actually have if that young man using your name wasn't your claim to fame. But I digress. Vlad is just a person who, no matter how much anybody calls him a vulture, he displays his vulturism continuously and over again. And a great interviewer, might I add. Commentary that over the years has been quite explosive. On top of the fact, interesting, entertaining, and well filmed. And we see that a lot of other platforms have bit Vlad's style in commentary, behind the camera, asking questions with the camera focused directly on the artist or the person being interviewed, and has made millions on this culture, talking to old artists about things that we did not know previously about them, so forth and so on. Now, I'm not sure if DJ Vlad dropped the DJ off his name, because I've never actually seen him DJ anything. I'm sure there are plenty of witnesses to his DJ skills. The fact that he calls himself a DJ and he might be a laptop button pushing dude is also ironic as well. How many styles and how many different things has Vlad plagiarized, copied, and emulated in order to fatten his pockets and build his success, along with his alleged ties to law enforcement? Well, only time will tell what will happen to dear VLAD and his negative questioning. But Hughes brothers, hold your head up. You know what I mean? The beef that you had with Tupac Shakur, that's old and dead. And the fan base today, they could really care less. They don't even really know who y'all are, let alone Tupac. And a movie like Menace to Society is even less relevant today than it was in the 90s. It was very relevant in the 90s because we had never seen nothing like that on film. But since then, a multitude of blaxploitation, kill 'em up, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, gang, glorification films have come out. And I doubt we need another one. It was the same way when Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood came out back to back. Did we really need that at the time? Or did it fuel the violence that we see today? I don't know. But this is John Mack, aka Mindbender, Metro 360 News, signing out. Peace and blessings.
Those records, all he's talking about is the pain.
Do your mother's feelings ever get hurt when you talk about how painful and sad you were as a kid?
Yes, she's always.
That must be hard for her to hear.
She's always like that. I always used to feel like she cared more about the people than her people. But I love her for that. That's how I am. But because of my mother, I'm a chain smoker. Everything I've ever done, I don't think I was professional.
Meaning you didn't show up on time?
I didn't show up on time. I didn't have the concentration I should have had. Being mad at Spike Lee and all of those people, all of that. Dissing the Hughes brothers, I wish I didn't do that.
Have you made peace with them?
Not personally, but I'm trying to, I was young and dumb.